Hey, good morning. It's the Fort Worth Playboy, and you're looking at the Fort Worth Playboy morning show. And I better get it together. I keep thinking that I forgot something this morning, and I have no idea what it should be. But we will find out quite quickly if there's something missing here. Welcome to the show. What do we do here? We cover game, pickup, relationships, and sex. We talk about the tactical things of game on this show and on the timeline. And when I say we, I'll be referring to myself and my Playboy's Bunny. Two separate timelines, but we work together on this project. I want to say good morning to everyone, and I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions, by all means, ask. I'll do my absolute best to get to questions during the broadcast. And if not, we'll come back around tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Actually, we won't be on at 6:30 a.m. We won't be back on until Thursday at 7 a.m. This next week, we'll have a little bit of a change up in broadcast times. But we fall under, myself and Bunny, and this program under the red pill, which is an umbrella term for like men's rights, MGTOW, any intersectional dynamics, the bigger picture stuff, even politics or men's rights and men's anything that has to do with courts, child support, that sort of thing, and game falls under the red pill. And then we are more tactical. When you come to our timeline, we like to give you or have available to you very specific things. We stay within our, like we say, we stay within our lane. Things that can help you move a girl from complete stranger to naked and in your bed quite reliably and quickly, all the way to improving a 20 or 30-year marriage, which it sounds like that's a big swing, but it's really the same techniques, just used in a different environment, and just slight changes. Really, it's just calibration. So the things that work with attraction and seduction work universally. And that's kind of like what's funny is like people say, hey, you guys are still teaching pickup techniques from like the early 2000s. Well, the interesting thing is that nothing has changed. Yeah, there's a little bit more online, but the how people interact and what attracts women and what, holds people's interest, what actually works has not changed and probably will never change because, as we say, the principles remain the same. The application is individual. So principles are universal and application is individual. You might just tweak it a little bit more asshole game for this girl, a lot more asshole game for this girl. And you just have to find your balance. That's where it's a little bit of an art and not just a science. And it definitely is a science that can be researched and improved in the lab. So let's get started. That's enough of the background. At least you know why you're here, I hope. And we always start off with a maxim from Chateau Artiste. He had about 200, and we're going to do number 21 today. Kind of jumping all over the place. Maxim number 21. Women are more pliable in the company of competing women. And this is something that women will object to and fight against, and there's no reason to even ask them, is this true? Because they will deny it. And that's the real deal. You can go, the power and leverage you have using jealousy, and we'll just use a jealousy ploy as anything. And a jealousy ploy can be anything from her knowing you had a really hot girlfriend before her, to her seeing you with someone else, to even dread, which is, creating that competition anxiety in a relationship with a girl that you already know who's starting to lose her interest in you. That's what dread is it's competition anxiety. Her knowing that other women are interested and available to you. It tends to help reignite a girl who's like lost it over years or decades in men. It's that powerful. This is probably one of the most important concepts in game or in attraction even that isn't talked about as much as it should be, because jealousy makes men insanely angry, and they murder and they kill because of it, and they lose their mind, and they can't stop, like guys that are younger, they can't like even think about their girlfriend getting banged by some other dude. It throws them off. I mean, like literally, like they have trouble functioning. And then, in the whole scheme, I mean, for women though, her knowing that you're desirable and that you've had relations with other women and other younger, better looking, higher regard women turns her on. They'll deny this. You can ignore that because they're not going anywhere. It tends to solidify or cement their attraction to you. And guys always kind of go, why do girls need to know you're desirable to other women? And the reason is because women don't trust their own judgment. She knows she fucked a coach in high school. She knows she slept with 3 guys in one day on spring break. She knows she banged her best friend's dad. She knows all the dirty little secrets, and she doesn't actually trust her own judgment. Therefore, when you show up, she needs to know that other women find you attractive and worth effort for her to feel that you're attractive and worth effort. So women are more pliable in the company of competing women. It's an indicator that you're a high value man when she sees other women competing for you. It's not exactly like when you and another Chad are competing for the attention of one girl. It's much more powerful for girls to feel this, because this is when guys kind of compete, like it's very brief, very intense, and then it's over with. But with women, it's almost always ongoing, that gnawing feeling. And women, to give you an idea of how important other women's opinions of you are, that's where that social media comes in. Girls will see a guy they're interested in, go to his social media, and they'll start working their way back. They'll work back all the way to 14, 15 years ago when the social media started to see what the quality was. He married? What did she look like? I mean, make no mistake, it's all about what did she look like. And every girl will do this, and they'll do it with the guys they're interested in. They know way more about you when you show up than they're going to ever let on. And if you ask, they will deny that they do this because that's part of the sisterhood. There's no reason when you're talking about jealousy and it being leveraged, don't bother asking women, hey, is this true? Because they're going to lie to you, because that's the way it works. Like Playboys buddy says, we want men that other women want. And there's no reason to ask. You can ask Bunny because she is able to tell you, because I would not have known most, and especially the stuff that we're covering today. A lot of it comes from her insights that, yes, this is true. This is what girls do. I mean, especially the one like going back and looking at social media and seeing what the girls' boyfriends, what the guys' girlfriends, ex-wives, the women in his life, what they landed on. Bunny was the one that kind of revealed this to me. So just know that they're out there, and women are more pliable in the company of competing women. And that's why when, you walk in with a girl into one of your regular spots and everybody's greeting you and they know you by name. And it's very unusual today because everybody's so anonymous, and you walk in and you're more like the mayor. And she says, my God, how many girls do you bring here? And you're like, all of them, hundreds, just always lean into that you're a popular, well-known, womanizing man, that people want to be around you. And it's going to work in your favor. Women don't want to hear, none, baby, you're the only one, because it makes her suspect or suspicious of her own judgment and of you. So therefore, always work with I'm popular. I see a lot of women. This is what I do. Of course, people know me. I come in here a lot with hundreds of women, and that's just the way it is. And women they either want to be part of that 100, and eventually they'll want you to drop them all off and be just number one. But they start there. They start with you being desirable to a lot of women. Women don't want what isn't wanted by other women. And this works all the way up to dread. Sometimes guys have been married for like 5, 10, 15 years, and they become I hate to use the word herb, but it's a good word. They become a plant, nothing more than a plant in their own home. And she takes him for granted, even though he gave up his freedom, his money, his ability to travel. He's stuck with the kids and you, and now he can't go anywhere. And she begins to take him for granted in the things that he does and has done. And that's understandable because that's how people are wired sometimes. So you have to reintroduce through dread, for lack of a better word, competition anxiety, that you actually are desirable, wanted, other women are available to you, that she has to get her shit together, or you're taking the kids and you're going out the door. So that's the real deal, is women are more pliable and, to their benefit, jealous in the company of competing women. When you use this and you use it judiciously, you use it in a smart manner, it makes her more attracted to you, which is beneficial to her. And it makes her more attracted to you, which is beneficial to you. Everybody wins. I want to really convey that, especially when we talk about jealousy, is women, it turns them on. The emotions turns them on and solidifies their attraction to you. It's not a bad thing when used in certain doses. Again, calibration matters. This is a word I was trying to find for Bunny the other day, that we were both like, what's this damn word we're trying? When you calibrate how much jealousy you use with the girl in front of you, you'll be better off. You can't just like beat everybody over the head with a hammer, and you can't go soft on everyone either. So you have to calibrate it according to the woman in front of you. But jealousy works, and it works like nothing else, and it stands alone, and everyone benefits. And that's what we want to really convey, is at the end of the day, she's more attracted to you, you're more attractive to her, everybody wins. So let's see what else we have on the timeline today. This is possibly going to get me, everything gets you into a lot of trouble, some of these topics. So the Duke of Hamlin posted, my friend 2 months back found out a girl he was giving the wine and dine to, your classic 2-3 dates and dinner and dining, who was giving the wine and dine to was seeing 3 other guys and dividing her time amongst them. He took it as well as you think a guy would, who thinks he's exclusively talking with a female and winning her over. As well as you think a guy would, who thinks he's exclusively talking with a female and winning her over. Gentlemen, in the beginning, always assume she's seeing other men. She will not tell you she's seeing other men. She will not give you any indicator she's seeing other men. She will never be too busy to see you. She will never have anything else scheduled. She will always be available to you, but she is still seeing other men. unless she brings up the exclusivity talk with you and you go for it, like you take the hook, she's not exclusive with you. She's seeing other men. I don't care if you can't rationalize it, you can't process it. I don't want you to dwell on it, as nuclear Cordelia will say, don't dwell on it, but you need to be aware of it. And yes, it's all women all the time. Your mother was seeing 3 or 4 guys when she met your dad. I'm sorry. This is the way it is. It's just the way it is. And you need to know that she's already seeing other men when she meets up with you. That's just the deal. And girls are smart. They don't just like meet you and then cut everybody else off. That's just not how it works, because they have to, just like gambling, they have to make a smart decision. But guys get rocked by this very thing all the time. Again, when a girl says she's single, she's not single in the sense that men are single. Men say they're single and they truly like haven't went out with anybody in 2 years. But a girl says she's single, it simply means she's having sex with 2 or 3 guys in a month, and she's seeing one of them pretty regular, but there's nothing serious. And it's not really, none of them are what she would say boyfriend material, but they're interesting and fun, and she goes out with them and sleeps with them. That's being single to a woman. But she uses that word because she knows to men, it throws them off. They're like, oh, she's single. She's not seeing anyone. I can see her. That's the deal. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't see her. It just simply means single or dating, or he's just a friend, or I work with him. What else? We used to go out. He's my friend's ex-boyfriend. All these things mean I'm fucking this guy, or I have fucked this guy, or I will fuck this guy. Women won't bring up men that she has no interest in. It just doesn't happen, because she knows you'll key off that. Every time she brings up another man in your presence, there's a chance that you'll go off in a different direction, even under the most innocent pretenses. That's why really smart girls, until they've been around a long time, they don't mention even their dad or an uncle or their brother, any man, because some guys are way more sensitive about this stuff than others. Because you're like, what? Is that really a thing? Absolutely. I'd say it's probably about 20%. They're like, they don't even notice. And then 80% like are super sensitive to, as soon as like another guy's name comes up, they key off of that. But again, they still won't key off that she's sleeping with them as well, because women will use covert communication like, oh yeah, he's a guy that I used to go out with, or he's a friend of mine, or he's my sister's ex-boyfriend. So just know, if he comes up, or we used to work together, all these things mean somebody that she has sex with, or had sex with, or will have sex with. But again, this guy, it's his own fault to a certain extent. You don't know what you don't know. And a lot of men, especially, take that one turn of phrase that says, she's not yours, it's just your turn. Man, they take that bad. And simply means is like, in this window of time, she's having sex with you. If you move that window back before she met you, she was having sex with other people. And after your period with her is done, she'll be having sex with other men again. And sometimes these kind of overlap in the beginning and at the end. And that means she's not just yours, it's just your turn. And it's not derogatory, it's to help men realize exactly what this is, so they're not caught and embarrassed and put on their heels. And this relationship between him and the original girl is still the same. Just now, he's upset. It didn't change their dynamic. They still weren't exclusive in the beginning or right here. But men think that it should just be him. And they do this by default. And that's okay, because she isn't going to give any indications that she's seeing other people. It's kind of like once you're on the other side, once you run a number of girls and you're not an exclusive guy, you're not what we'd say boyfriend material, you're just a fun guy that they can meet up with once a week and have fun and have sex with. Once they have a guy that they realize is probably better for commitment, they'll say, hey, this is the last time we can do this. And you're going to know about the other guy, but the other guys will never know about you. And that's just part of being a guy that just gets it. You're going to be aware of other men in her life, men that are more blue-pilled, a little bit more leaning into commitment, a little bit more traditional, especially if your role is to be the fun guy, and you're running a rotation. They understand that you're a guy that just gets it. So they're going to give you a little bit more insight into how women work. And my job is to also give you insight into how women work so you're not caught off guard and you can make the best decisions for yourself and for the girl in front of you. So again, as well as you think a guy who who thinks he's exclusively talking, that's another phrase women use for having sex with a female and winning her over. Gentlemen, in the beginning, always assume she's seeing other men. You don't call her out on it. You don't need to bring it up. Just assume so. And if she's not, or if she kind of cuts them off over time when she finds you more interesting, more power to her. So that's the real deal. And she is seeing other men until she brings up the exclusivity talk with you. And if she's not bringing up the exclusivity talk, you have a fuck buddy. You have a friend with benefits. And that is a role that everyone needs to have filled at some point in their life. Let's see. Jeff is kicking ass. MPB, I miss your podcast. Hopefully you can bring them back soon. Yes, we're going to someday be able to do both of us daily. It's just a matter of time, very soon. We can't risk wasting time as serial monogamists. What do you think about the academic studies that show that the average person in America has only 4.1 partners before marriage? Okay, so there's two schools of thought here. And I don't want to get too far deep in this because I think this would be a good topic for an entire 10-minute segment of the show. Women are notoriously inaccurate at revealing. They've had 4 partners in the sense that she had a high school boyfriend, she had a college boyfriend, she had one long-term relationship after college, and then that when they broke up, she met her husband. She was about 26, 27, so 4. It doesn't include the multiple hookups, girls' night out, traveling, anything outside of your zip code doesn't count. Blowjobs don't count. Guys that lasted less than 3 months don't count. Guys that lasted less than 5 minutes in bed doesn't count. It doesn't ever count. When women are asked how many men they've been with, they only count long-term boyfriends. Some girls limit, is any guy under 2 years of a solid exclusive commitment? Doesn't count. So that's how you end up with 4 instead of 40 or 400. And with men, because it's a little bit harder to rack up the numbers, you kind of have to focus and you have to have a little bit of luck on your side and you have to have skills. I think it could be in that 4 to 10 range because what happens is most guys just don't care about it enough. And I don't mean I shouldn't even say enough. They just don't care. For most guys, when you look out, and I'll use a picture of the suburbs, where you look out and there's 500 or 1,000 houses next to each other. This is the vast majority of men. is they want to go to work, make some money, have fun with their buddies, come home, get high or drunk, pursue their hobbies, and not get bitched at, and possibly have sex every once in a while, once a week, a couple times a month. They're happy. They don't care about seduction. They don't care about game. They don't care. They think all of this stuff is insanity. Much like you would think of, like if you're not a computer guy, like hardcore gamers being like, why would they spend so much time? Or, professional bass fishing. I mean, there's people that pursue all kinds of obscure, model trains, RV cars, all kinds of crazy things that guys pursue hard. They really wrap their lives around it. It's not women. They're not that interested. If it falls in their lap, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. That's why most guys will tend to marry the first girl that will touch his pee-pee, and he's good, because it's not a priority. That's why when she gains 100 pounds, he's still with her, because it doesn't really matter to him. He likes fishing. He likes hunting. He likes his kids. He likes coaching t-ball. These are all things. It's different strokes for different folks. We're a teeny tiny group. We're less than 1% of the population, because you got to realize like less than 1% of the population even exercises. And an even smaller percentage understands game and women and seduction in our little world. So the vast majority of men they're just not that interested in girls, seduction, attraction, sex. If it happens, great. If not, that's okay too. Again, for a lot of guys in our world, they can't fathom that, and that's okay. But that's your majority of people. That's your 80-20. 80% of men are just not that interested in this stuff. And even the sex thing, they're like, the variety thing, they're like, I just need one, and I don't want to deal with all the weird bullshit, because women make them feel uncomfortable. They're hard to read. They act funny. They're friends with his mom, all kinds of weird things to him. He doesn't want to deal with it. So that's a real deal with why do you see that for partners? Guys aren't that interested, and women simply don't count everyone. And shoot, I think we were going to stick with 2 topics, maybe 3. And I think Jeff, I'm sorry, Mac, it's a solid question, and it deserves a solid answer. And it's hard, like Jeff seconds, that it's hard to imagine most men, they really don't care, but it all also works out, because most women don't even see the vast majority of men. They're just betas, just kind of pass through. They're like fog. And then girls will ID or spot 1 or 2 alphas in a day, maybe, that, this guy's got it, and they'll key in on that. It's very rare. So again, that 4.1, I think that's pretty accurate for the number of 4 to 7 for men. And then women, it's unlimited. They just don't count any. And, regular girls can rack up, 20, 30 just between serial monogamy, like Bunny says, and the guys that are peppered in, like she sleeps with 3 guys in a weekend after a breakup. There's always that breakup or post-breakup or post-divorce, where they kind of get, and after, just like we were talking about, widow's heat, like after a spouse passes, they start sleeping with a bunch of men. When they go through a divorce, they sleep with a bunch of men. That's just certain times that the number is going to get racked up faster than others. And to your advantage, a girl says, hey, I just broke up with my boyfriend. She's open to casual hookups. I just went through a divorce. She's open. She's not looking for something serious, so you have to use those things to your advantage and hear what they're saying. So I hope you guys have taken something from this today that you can apply today. Just know that girls are more pliable in the company of other girls. Jealousy works. And she's seeing other people when you meet her in the most innocent, snow-driven, white dress girl has a history. It's somewhere. It's called a sex drive for a reason. And when you hear like women have had 4 partners, it's 4 that counted. And men don't really care that much about sex or seduction or attraction. It's just not interesting to them. So it's a strange thing to know, especially in our world. That's just the way it is. So if you like this, like it, share it, subscribe. If you have questions, let us know. If you want to purchase something, you can go to my Gumroad, or I'll put a link to our newsletter directly below this, both on YouTube and on Twitter. And we will be back Thursday at 7 a.m. right here. Bring your questions, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for showing up, and have a great day.